Hi, Mr. Automation is back, and today with a video about send keys remotely. I got some requests from a couple of viewers. They asked me if you can send those keys remotely, send keys. And in this video I'm going to show you how that can be accomplished and if it can be accomplished. So bear with me. So let me switch the screen. And first, a little bit of explanation is in place, so let me start with that. So let me try to explain it as good as I can. I have a tablet here, so my drawing skills should be a little bit better than with the mouse. So let's say we're sitting here today, and let me first take a pen. We're sitting here today, and here we have our user, right? We are logged on. We want to go to a remote system, so I'm gonna spin up a remote server, and we call that test 100. I don't care. That's a server operating system, and basically we run an application here. Let's take a simple example. We take Notepad, right? Notepad is running there on that server, and from this system here, where we're sitting here, we want to send a keystroke to that remote process that is there running Notepad. And there are some challenges here because let me take a different color. So on this server, on this system here, you're sitting there with the user. You have an interactive session. So if you start an application, you can interact with that, right? You can see it's visual. You can select it with the mouse and such. You can send keystrokes. But if it's sitting on this remote server, you don't have any user interface to it. So you cannot send directly a send key to that Notepad session, because that Notepad session is related to the user that's logged in on this box, right? That has the processes, that sees the interfaces. You can see the process, of course, from a different user perspective, but you cannot see the interface of the process, right? I hope that makes sense. And so it's kind of difficult to send directly from this user that is sitting here, directly a command there to this Notepad, because you cannot interact with that interface. So if you want to send a remote Notepad or anything, a keystroke remotely to an application, then basically what you need to do is make sure that you have a sort of script here, right, on your system here. You create that script, you transfer that over to that system there, and then you somehow make sure that that starts under the user that also has that application open, right? Because if that still starts on a different user, you still can't interact with the interface here, right? Now it's Notepad, but it can be any application. You can't interact with the interface unless you log on with the same user, basically, right? In the same session as well. So there's basically only one possibility there, or I think there's one possibility, and that is on this system. Then you run a script and you place that in the run directory of the user, and every time the user logs on, that script runs, and you can run it in the background, of course, and such. And then basically you wait perhaps until Notepad starts, and then you do some interaction, right, with that. So that's basically the only way to accomplish that. So what we're going to do today, we write some code here on this system. We're going to deploy this server, this fresh system. It will be a fresh system. We have an Active Directory here. This system is a member of the Active Directory. During deployment, we're going to create a user there. That user is able to log on to that server. And during deployment, we make sure that the auto logon is set on that system, so that system automatically logs on with that newly created user in Active Directory. And then we try to launch Notepad and send some key commands, and perhaps we advance that a little bit. But then at least, the drawing is still crappy, by the way, but at least you have a decent understanding on how you possibly can send remote keys to a system. Okay, I hope it makes sense a little bit. Let's go to the code now. Let's create a virtual machine for this purpose. So, and it needs a little bit of explanation, the script, because specifically, let me see where that is. Let me find it. Yeah, the most important part of the script is that during deployment, I create a mapping to that remote system, to the C drive here specifically. And I create a script that I already prepared here, the send keys, right? This is just a simple notepad script, and we will send some keys there. We copy the script that I have now on my local system over to that remote system during deployment. And what we do then is set this registry key to run this PowerShell script, right? That we just placed there on the C drive there. We placed that there, right? That's the script we're running here then on this system, right? That system, that's where we're going to run it on. And basically that's it. The rest of the deployment is it's not interested for this demo, of course. It's not interesting, I mean, for this demo. That's just the deployment of a server that's fully automated. And let's start the script. So now you understand a little bit, and during deployment I also explain perhaps. So let's start it. And we create a new VM and we test 100, I think we agreed on that. So let's go, take a 2019 server, put it on this hypervisor, and I left that in for fun. We play with that later, perhaps with the link. Perhaps open up a browser and do something in a browser remotely, you know, on that system. So now we wait a little bit until the deployment completes. Let me open up my cluster manager here, and we will see that we now have a test 100 system here. Let's connect to that for now. And then we go back to the code. So that's still running, stopping some services. As you can see here, it's still running. And as I explained, take another color, I guess. We take blue. During deployment here now, here on this system here, where I'm sitting here, this user, that system is now being created. The user also is being created in Active Directory. System is joined inside of Active Directory. That user is able to log on to that system. And we copy the file over from this system to this system as well, right? The script file we had here, our demo script, the send keys. That's been copied over as well. And as we can see, that's already completed, so that's good. So let me close this. Let's go to the server. Okay, now it's switched off. So what I will do now is start this virtual machine, and it should automatically log on with the user called test100, right? And then that script that we created here, this send keys, will run automatically because I showed you that we set this registry key for that, right? We did that. So let's see. Let's start this system now. Shouldn't take long, so I won't pause the video for that. But you can see the actual login process and such. That it's automatically done, of course. I'm not logging in, not typing any credentials here. You see already it's logging in. That's fine. It'll take some time to prepare the profile and such. So I'm not doing anything, right? So if all goes well, a PowerShell script should pop up and do something, I guess, and open Notepad, for instance. So let's see if that happens. Okay, so we see a PowerShell now. PowerShell script, we see Notepad opening. I'm not doing anything, and this is a remote system, right? Let's wait, because I think I built in some pauses inside of the script. I don't know why, by the way. I think they were left in some leftovers from an old script. I just copy and pasted some content and modified it. And now we have hello, right? Nice. And the PowerShell script also quit. I did not create any loop, for instance. But yeah, I think it's a little bit of a lame example still, but it works, right? So let's go back to this extremely crapping drawing still. I thought it was better with the tablet, but it's still not that amazing, I guess. So let's start with one new drawing again. Don't save. Let's try something slightly different. Yeah, what we perhaps could do is open the browser. I see I have Chrome here, and open it with the URL, right? So let's do that and see if we can type anything inside of the browser, because I don't know how it looks yet. So perhaps we found some interesting things there. And that modification we need to do, of course, in this SendKeys, right? Now I'm going to do something different here. And I think I have Opera as well in the system. Well, that's fine. I think I can just leave that one out for now. And we can send some keys there, but it doesn't make sense, of course, because we're activating Notepad here. It doesn't matter. Just see if we can launch Google now remotely on that system. And I must be honest, I will redeploy the server because it's so simple for me to just deploy another one. So we just take another server for this testing purpose, and we call it test 200. I'm fine with that. Take that again, this again, and we provide perhaps a link there. And I will pause the video while deployment is running. And of course, I'm now demonstrating something with some interaction from me, but you can also create such a script that does all the clicking and sending keys and run that remotely on that server, right? Run it at a scheduled task, for instance, right? When the user logs in, that specific user even, or every user, then you start that script. And then you have and you can interact with all the windows for that user because that code is also running in the same session. Hope that makes sense a little bit. Well, let's see. We should have test 200 now, and we have. So let's connect to that one as well. Let's start it up. Let's see if it also automatically logs on, because it should. And let's see also if it now starts Google Chrome or Opera, the Opera browser, with www.google.com as a URL, as an argument. So let's see what we get. And if all goes well, we will see a PowerShell popping up in a second. And of course, if you create a scheduled task, you can do it more sneaky, right? You can basically do this under the hood. You can run it silently. I can do it here as well silently, but I just forgot to get to provide the correct argument for that. Here you see it. And so Google is opened automatically. It's quite lame. So let's try to suppress these interfaces that we see here, right? Because somewhere you need to scroll down, I think. Let's see if that's the case. Yes, and we need to do then this agree to everything. So let's see if we can do that with the SendKeys, right? I will close this one for now. So let's select this window here, and I will stop tapping. Tap. 1, 2, 3, 4 taps. And I'm on the accept here, right? And then I need to press enter most probably. So let's see if that works. If I press enter. Yes. Let's see if we can simulate this, right? That behavior. We can automate that. So I need to press 4 times a tab and then 1 times an enter. So let me prepare that a little bit. It's boring to see me typing that. So I prepared it a little bit. I think this is the title, Google Opera. That's what I found here. See, Google-Opera. I think that's the activation on title. And then you send a tab, and then enter. Let's see if that gives us something. So, and of course, I can copy the script over to that remote server and then re-log on with the user, and then the script will run. But I'm lazy. I just deploy a new VM again and try it again. So let's do that. So now we create test 102, I think that's fine, or test 200, that's test 300. That one again, provide any link, let's wait. So let's go to the cluster manager, connect test 300, we just deployed that, start it, and let's see if it launches the browser and see if it does anything with the SendKeys, right? Let's wait for that. Let's see if our PowerShell script runs again. opens up the browser and such. Let's see. Perhaps I made a mistake, could be. Not doing anything yet, by the way, as you can see. So let's see if the tapping actually works. Because the script is still on tap, 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 enter. See, I didn't do anything. So, okay, so that works as well. Let's shut down this system. This one as well. This one as well for now. Perhaps I have an idea, so let me switch one of them on again. This one, let me connect that one again and start it. So I was thinking perhaps I will close the PowerShell script, by the way, if it runs, because I have a different idea here, and let's first simulate it before we create some code for it. So I think on every system you have like Wordpad. I hope at least, yes, you have Wordpad. Let's see if we can type something here and then perhaps save it. I don't know if it's possible, so let's type hello again. And we know how to do that already. And then we go to File, Save As. And I'm not sure how we need to do that. So let's see how we do that with the keyboard, right? I think it's Control F. No, it's not. It's perhaps Alt F. Yes, Alt F. And then we do arrow down. 1, 2, 3. Enter, I think. Then we need to type something. Hello. And then we need to press Enter. Okay. So basically we need to put these steps inside of a script, and then we can create a file here and call it and save it as hello, right? And simulate some keystrokes. So let me create some code for that, or try to create some code for that, and see if that works. So let me quickly create some code here remotely on the server. I'm writing some input from the clipboard remotely to the virtual machine. See, my typing skills are insane. So, okay, so this time we're going to launch Wordpad. Then we're going to activate that and send hello to it. Let's first see if it works, because I honestly don't know. So I will close this. Let's first, I think we need to save it. Untitled, that's fine, or documents. That's fine. Let's run this code, and I'm not doing anything, of course, otherwise I'll ruin perhaps the demo. So let's see if this first part works. I created 2 pauses, by the way, inside of the script. That's why it takes a little bit of time. I could have removed them, by the way, but for now. Okay. Hell. Okay, hell. So I forgot to know there. It's not really that important. So let's copy a couple of these steps over, because we already know we need to send some more commands. And the first one is to send it's Alt. Oh, I made a mistake there. Alt plus F. So I need to find out how to send that. I don't know out of my head. I think it is something to do with the % but I'm not sure. Hang on. Okay, so %F, that's Alt F, and then we send 3 down arrows, then an enter, and then we save the file as well, right? Like I showed you. So let's run the script now. Not doing anything. As you can see, save as, hello, save. And then what we could do is send Alt F4 perhaps to close the application, right? To close the notepad. So let the Wordpad, I mean. So let's try to do that as well. It's the last step. Okay, so this is Alt F4. I found that out. Capital F4, and with the % sign in front of it, that's the Alt. And now let's run this. Not doing anything, of course. You see that the application was closed as well, with sending the Alt F4 to close the Wordpad application. And let's run it again and see if we see some issues perhaps with this simple application, right? It's a very simple one. Let's see. So again, hello. We save that to hello. And now we need to do something, right? We need to answer something here. That's not in the code yet. So let's see how we can answer yes here. So we want to answer yes, and it's probably top, 1 times a top, and then enter. So that's it. So what we then do is add a tab and an enter, right? So add a tab here, tab, enter. Well, let's run the code again. Not doing anything. So that worked, but the Alt F4 did not work. So it's probably something with the ordering, and it's quite clear here, right? You can see that already. This Alt F4, that one, needs to go all the way down, of course. And let's run it again. And after this, I will deploy a system and do everything from scratch, you know, deploy it, log in automatically, let this script run, this application. You see it's shut down, closed it and everything. And yes, so let's prepare that. So change the VM SendKeys script, the main wrapper that we have, and we're going to deploy another virtual machine here quickly. Test 400, I guess, yeah, 400, 19, HP2. So now we should have a new VM, and we have connect, start again. So let's see if it launches Wordpad and starts typing anything, and perhaps saves it as well as a document. If that all goes fine, then I think we're done with the video as well. Well, let's see. Okay, at least Wordpad got launched. I forgot to remove the long pauses, by the way, so it's a little bit boring, this part, I guess. Oh, and I still have F a typo there, so I need to fix something still. Could not print, no, of course. Hang on, I need to fix that. And I think it's here, down 3, it should be, it's down 4 here. So let's deploy another VM quickly. Oh, here we have our test 500 VM. Let's connect. Automatically log on. Oh, I forgot to resume the video, but I'm still in time, I see. So Wordpad is getting launched there. As I said, I did not remove the sleeping timers. I left them in for some reason, so need to wait 10 seconds, something like that. Now start typing. Now we save it. Hello, and we close the application. Nice, huh? So let's go once more back at this this paint window. Let me try to explain it once more, because it's quite important that you that one understands. So let's take red, and again I'll take my tablet here, so let's see if that's a little bit better. So I'm sitting here again, and this is Mark. I have some PowerShell code here, right? I created here a new virtual machine, but just you can use an existing one as well, right? So imagine you have a couple of existing machines. You can still use the same technique. You don't deploy a system all the time. You already have a system. What you then do is basically use I'll use a different color, SMB, to reach out to that system. Copy your script over from this server over that session to there somewhere on the file system, right? You do that there as well, and there as well. And then make sure you set the registry key. Let me take a different color for that. A registry key to run that script that you copied over there, right? That you have now there on the C drive or the D drive, whatever. Make sure you create that registry key, that run key that I showed you. Let me show it once more here. Should be able to quickly find that if I take the correct code, of course, here. And here you can see the logon value. So auto logon, of course, the win logon values needs to be set that you have an auto logon to interact with. And you will set the run key accordingly here, right? So that your script runs whenever anyone logs into the system. And let's go back to the scrappy drawing. So yeah, so you're sitting on that server, copying your script over, and then basically you make sure that it runs. And you can use the task scheduler, of course, as well. So create a scheduled tasks on those remote systems that runs that script that you just copied over. That's a possibility as well. But if you run it and want to run it in the same context as that user, then you need to also be able to have the username and password, right? Because that, and make sure that you have it in the same logon session, right? If it's a totally different session, then still you can't interact with the window remotely or locally even if you're not in the same session. Yes, I think that's it, because otherwise it will be way too long, this video. So I think it makes a little bit of sense on how you can potentially send remote keys. You cannot do it directly, but you can do it with the method I showed you, running at logon time, or just create a scheduled task that runs under that user, for instance, and runs a script and does some stuff. I think that's it. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. See you again. Bye.